What's up, Ramblers? Your favorite CEO is back. And before we begin today's podcast, make sure you hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode. And follow Assistance HQ and Offsource HQ across all platforms to stay up to date on the latest content, updates, and more. And remember, if you need a virtual assistant, visit us at offsource.tech. Now, before we begin, a word from our sponsor. Hey guys, welcome back to another wonderful episode of The Ramblings. I have with us today Keith Harvey of Heartland. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. How are you doing, Angela?
I'm doing pretty good. First time on the show for you, Keith, so thank you for coming and joining us today. We've had a lot of great guests, and I think we're in for another great show today. So tell us first a little bit about what Heartland is. Give us a little bit about what you do, your background.
Yeah, absolutely. So appreciate you having me on here. So Heartland, I focus on the payroll and HR side of things. So I'm working with small business owners, helping them get their employees paid, manage their employees, and hopefully improve some of their efficiencies and put some more time back into their day so they can worry about running their business and not some of these administrative tasks that we can handle for them.
Kind of sounds like you do what we do. So how did you get into this? I know everyone's no one just says, I'm going to go be in payment processing and help people with payroll. Is it, unless this is something that you thought you kind of wanted to do?
I was actually working for a financial company previously, wholesaling 401k plans. So I was internal in an office and looking to get out in the field. So an opportunity came up, and there's a direct correlation between retirement plans and 401ks and the payroll, because the payroll is feeding everything. So it gave me an opportunity to go outside the industry without leaving it entirely. Mm-hmm. But it also gave me the opportunity to be out in the field working at that time in person with people. We've obviously adjusted and shifted and a lot more video calls, but to be able to work, hand in hand with that business owner to, again, make their lives easier and help grow their business.
Okay. So did you know you always wanted to be in finance? Like, did you come out of college saying, I want to be a finance guy? I want to deal with people. Because I know that at least when I was younger, I was like, I saw business owners on like doing like flights and putting things on expense tabs. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to be like an account man kind of thing, like a Don Draper. Like, what was your idea when you started coming into the workforce?
Yeah, good question. So I actually studied accounting at UConn, and right now I'm not doing anything with that on the sales side of things. But no, similar to what you just said, yeah, I wanted to be able to work on the front line and help people grow their business or just help people with, whatever their needs were. So I truly do enjoy sitting down with a business owner, seeing how they're doing things, seeing where there may be some gaps or some problems that we can improve upon. And I mean, that really gives me the gratification there to be able to help people. So yeah, it wasn't some big epiphany that I wanted to do payroll specifically, but just again, being able to work with people and being on the sales side of things was definitely what I wanted to do.
So I guess there's something for everybody, and not everyone always thinks, oh, the salespeople, like we just kind of fall into it. It's not necessarily that easy. Now, this has been a long time that you've been doing this. What have been some of the challenges that you've had to face in terms of sales?
Yeah, so it has been 3 years now that I've been on the payroll side. And interestingly enough, I'm one of the few on the team that had zero true payroll background previously. So that was a learning curve. Right. So sales definitely does translate across industries, but still getting up to speed with how payroll works and our product and our service and features, right. And being able to explain those and educate the business owners I'm meeting with. That was definitely a challenge early on. Some of the challenges now is, most of the time I can find areas that a business can improve upon, but it's getting that business owner two things. One, to agree that that gap or that issue is there and that it's big enough where a fix is needed. Mm-hmm. But not only that, to then get them to buy in to actually want to fix it. Because a lot of times you'll be in a situation where you can find a problem and you'll even get agreement from the business owner, from them, that there is a problem. Mm-hmm. but they don't have the time, they don't have the capacity, a real small business owner that's wearing so many different hats, they just can't focus and put their attention to help actually fix that problem. So that's definitely been a challenge. Again, getting them to buy into actually wanting to improve things or fix the problem that's there.
One of the key kind of things that you mentioned a lot recently so far is that you like enjoying to help people. You wanted to be on the front lines. Why? Easy question.
Yeah,
Easy question, I guess. Feel free.
Yeah, I mean, just from I guess a personality thing. I think it's human nature though to want to help other people as well, right? So to be able to learn all these different industries and all these different businesses and what they do. I mean, you'll drive down the street or on the internet and you hear these company names, but you have no idea what they do. So to be able to learn about somebody's business and then also get to learn and know them on a more personal level as well, right? What are their interests? Do they have family, kids, hobbies, things of that sort? And as you develop these relationships, again, you just kind of human nature want to work with individuals that maybe have same interests or that you can relate to and help them out wherever you can. So I think that's what kind of drives me or pushes me in that direction to really help people. And then, to elaborate a little more with that, part of the reason why, backing up as to why I chose Heartland and the company that I work for, is the business model allows me to do that. So yeah, I say I'm in sales, but I'm not, kind of the old fashioned or old school train of thought with sales where you kind of sell something and get paid and out the door, right? My business model and my sales approach is an ongoing relationship. So again, that's what's important to me is you get to know these people, be a part of their lives and help their business.
That's pretty key right there. And so, but a lot of people, might be mistaking that a lot of people go into the financial services, payroll and stuff for the money. It is financial and everything is a pretty lucrative kind of business where we see people getting necessarily a bad rep. How have you managed to avoid getting that bad rep? Because we're going to kind of segue into networking, and you have a pretty strong network and a great reputation. So how have you kind of stayed away from that kind of stereotype?
Yeah, it's a good, interesting question. Honestly, I haven't run into that too much. Maybe I'm not making enough money yet. But I mean, look, I think all of us would be lying if money wasn't a driver for anything that we do. Like we can all have a passion for our work and our job, and like I've said, wanting to help people. But of course, money is a driving factor behind that. But it kind of falls into place. The more people I can help, the more people that I can get to trust me and want to utilize my services, then the money and the earnings and everything will come behind it. So look, it is still sales. Money is the huge motivating factor for a lot of sales reps out there. So yeah, of course it plays into the equation as to why I wanted to go this route and why I do what I do.
Okay. So then what has been your balance, if you will, for saying, hey, I need to make sure that I'm taking care of the customer, making sure I'm putting their needs first, and making sure that you're hungry enough to still be like the crunchy elbow salesperson?
Right. I think that ties into what I was mentioning before with getting a business owner, getting a client's buy-in to want to work with you, right? So that way you can be efficient and productive with your time. If you're just, dealing with kind of putting out fires or customer, and not that putting out fires, that's probably the wrong phrase to use. But, if they don't have the buy-in and now they're just, they become a little needy, or they're not happy with things, or they don't want to work on things, or they don't take the time to kind of learn how the system or the product works, right?
Don't mean to cut you off. Well, I want to know what your buy-in is now. Like we hear the buy-in. Well, how does Keith get people to buy in?
How do I get people to buy in to want to work with me?
Yes, because they could work with someone else from Heartland, I guess maybe another company. How do you get them to trust you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just being authentic. I'm pretty transparent and honest with my approach. Again, I'm asking a lot of questions, learning about their business, how they're specifically doing things in the payroll and HR space, and then finding out gaps or problems or areas where they can be doing things differently, utilizing some of the services that we offer. So again, I think just being authentic and transparent, like I said before, and gaining that customer's trust. It's not, hey, I can save you a few bucks here, or, this is what I'm selling, buy it. It's, well, how are you guys doing things? Here's how we can, again, hopefully improve some things. But if they're looking to work with me, or how I want to work with my clients is, they're experts in their business, whatever it is that they're doing, manufacturing, restaurant, right? I don't know how to cook and serve people and do all these things, but I know how to effectively run payroll. I know how to put together job postings to help in recruiting. Like the products and features that I'm able to help them with, I'm the expert on. So I want to go into it as a consultant and a partner with them, and get their buy-in to want to trust what I'm kind of recommending them to do that will help out.
Okay. Now I'm going to put you on a spot here really quickly. What separates you from another Heartland person?
Yes. I kind of explained the business model here and why it is different compared to some of the other larger competitors in the industry. I'm extremely hands-on to a fault almost. I want to be there to develop that relationship and really handhold my clients through the process. I think I just mentioned it a little while ago, but human nature, again, we're all resistant to change. So if I'm able to gain your trust and get your buy-in to want to work with me, I'm not going to just then leave it up to you now to figure out what I provided you with, right? I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to show you how to do it. And I'm also going to make sure, hey, I'm available for you whenever you need. So maybe you're not hiring somebody at this very minute, right? But when you do, I'll show you how to do it. And when it comes time to actually hire somebody, I'll come in again and show you how to do it, right? So it's just like anything else, it's repetition. And then eventually you learn how to do it and utilize everything and get comfortable with it. But again, I guess it sounds a little generic, but the biggest thing is just my real hands-on approach and making myself available whenever I'm needed.
I can actually attest to that. So I get the group doesn't know, the audience doesn't know. I've met Keith when we were networking in person, which feels at this point almost like a super, super long time ago. But when we first met, I was a lot younger than I am now, and I'm still young. So, and it felt good because like an older person that welcomed me with open arms, really kind of showed me the ropes, really kind of got me into a lot more networking. How has networking really played a big part in how you're doing your business?
Oh, it's been huge. It's been huge. Yeah. Utilizing different social media, LinkedIn. I believe that's how we connected originally, or it might've been actually a networking group that we were both invited to. But then I'm also in a group that meets weekly. I go to networking events. It's huge because it helps me build my distribution partners and grow my business. And again, as much as I want to help people, there's also many other people that want to help others. So as you build these relationships, you're able to help people out, and then people want to help you as well, right? So another thing with Heartland specifically and the products and services and how we work is that we promote that big time. We focus on our expertise, our areas in the payroll and HR side of things, but then we look to partner with, other people that tie into that, financial advisors, accountants, insurance agents. So it just allows me to grow my network and to be able to refer business out to people as well. So networking has been a huge part of my business and being successful. Because that's, I mean, I'm prospecting and trying to find new opportunities every single day. So, the whole kind of work smarter, not harder. That's the idea, is that if I can build my network and have people that understand and know what I do and be able to connect me to their contacts, it makes it a lot easier than, say, truly, going out there and calling or knocking on doors. If you can anytime you can get some type of warm introduction to somebody, it just makes that conversation easier and allows you to have a more meaningful conversation and be more productive with your time.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that. Now, again, quick on the spot, what can you recall at least has been your most fruitful relationship that you've built? Because we all build a lot of relationships. However, some have really kind of generated a little bit more fruition than others. What have been some of your top relationships that you built?
Yeah, I mentioned a couple right there. Financial advisors, going back to my background being in the retirement 401k space. So having knowledge in that industry and being able to talk their language and their lingo, right, when I'm either making an introduction or just having them trusting me and knowing that I have that background knowledge. They're comfortable introducing me to their clients as well. So that's been successful. Insurance agents is another field that has been successful for me. There's ways to work with insurance agents to help businesses out with their workers' comp and cash flow, not to go into too much detail there, but there's where we have a connection. And then, accountants, they have great relationships with their clients, right? And a lot of times I would say accountants, and I've left out banks, but accountants and banks, I think, normally have two of the strongest relationship with clients. So if I can, work with accountants and banks and gain their trust, that allows them to then introduce me to their clients and work together as well. So those, I believe I mentioned 4 there. Those are probably the 4 kind of industries or, people that I'm looking to partner with and work with the most.
Okay. Now I'm going to take it way, way back. What was the first deal that you closed for Heartland Payroll?
So the first deal that I closed, you go on your first couple of weeks as you're doing a lot of calls, you're just setting meetings, trying to book as many as you can. And then your manager comes out with you for that first week as well. So I actually reached out to a friend of mine who actually owns 2 businesses. And honestly, I sat there and really didn't do too much of anything. My manager was there. I'm still, like I said, coming from outside the industry. My objective was to set the meetings, get everything done that I could, to book up my calendar, and he'd come along with me and kind of show me the ropes. So it was a very successful meeting. We were able to actually sign up both his businesses, still a client, still a friend now. So yeah, the very first experience was a good experience and a productive one.
So how did you get the first one that you closed on your own? Let's hear that story. What was the business that you first closed? It was just you.
Yeah. So that was, in that same time when I was setting the meetings, I set the meeting up with a landscaper. And so had a nice meeting with him. I know he knew he was meeting with at least one other, maybe 2 other competitors, and was going to make his decision. So, I mean, the biggest thing there was just kind of follow up and staying on top of him. It definitely, going on kind of your first one on your own is, you have some nerves and butterflies and whatnot, and you leave and not sure what to expect. But, again, just follow up. And then really what got the deal done was he was actually a landscaping business that was up and running, but just bringing on employees for the first time. So in that scenario, there's a few things that they need to do to get prepared and get ready to do it. And, I kind of offered up working with him, or really taking lead on getting those items for him taken care of. So I think that showed him, that I would be available for him, and the support that he'd be getting with working with me. So that was the first deal on my own that I was able to get done.
Okay. Now, before we have to get you out of here and everything, we want to give the other young salespeople, financial advisors, people in payroll trying to make their sales. What is the one piece of advice you'd give to someone in your position or younger you?
Yeah, just take advantage of the opportunities that you have to get in front of people or larger groups. Like, don't be, it's getting out of your comfort zone. So we've talked a little bit about networking, even that was something that was different than what I was doing in my prior role. Right. So now you go to a meeting where there's 20, 30 people, and, they ask you to stand up and give a little introduction and explanation of what you do. And, that itself can be nerve wracking, but, I just, networking is huge. Get out there, have conversations. All their conversations aren't going to be great. You're going to stumble, but get out there, get in front of people. The more people you can get in front of, the more people you can meet, the more people that you can bring into your network is going to help you become much more successful down the road.
That's been wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, before we actually do have to get you out, where can we find you? Social medias.
I'm on LinkedIn. So Keith Harvey, if you search that on LinkedIn, you'll find me. My cell phone is 203-233-0312. And my email is keith.harvey@heartland.us.
I'll make sure I get that all into the description. I guess you're comfortable giving your number away for everybody.
Yeah, I'm available, man. That's again,
truly available.
That's right.
Hey, Ramblers, that's it. Podcast is over. Don't leave yet, though. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast, and follow us on YouTube at OffSource HQ. We'll see you next time.